There's this singular, terrifying moment in modern parenting. It's that exact second you hand your tween or teen their very first smartphone. It's just this glowing little rectangle, right? But the second it leaves your hand and goes into theirs, it feels like you've just handed them the keys to the entire universe. The good, the bad, and the incredibly distracting.
Oh, absolutely. It's like handing over a live wire. And suddenly, you're not just managing their schedule anymore, you're managing a digital world that operates 24/7. And the fear that you're going to lose your kid to the screen, it is so real.
It really is. Welcome to the Rising Parent Podcast. Today's episode is 8 Healthy Boundaries to Set with Your Teen's Smartphone. We're going to give you a step-by-step guide on creating, implementing, and enforcing realistic smartphone boundaries that will not ruin your relationship with your teen. I'm Tim.
And I'm Edna.
And we want to remind you right out of the gate that new episodes of the Rising Parent Podcast are released every Monday and Friday, so make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss out.
We also want to mention that we created this podcast to help families thrive, but also to raise funding for our nonprofit mobile food bank, Selfless Outreach. If you want to support the cause and help us feed the community, you can go to selflessoutreach.org. We'll also have a link to Selfless Outreach right in the show notes for you. Now, let's get started.
All right, Edna, phones.
Phones. Just the word makes my heart rate go up a little bit.
Oh, I know. We've spent over 2 decades as licensed child care professionals and certified parenting coaches. And if there is one topic that consistently brings parents to our coaching sessions in an absolute panic, it's screen time.
Yes. And it's funny because, back when we worked with the little ones in our daycare, the big tech debate was, is 20 minutes of a cartoon too much?
Right. Will this animated dog ruin my toddler's attention span?
Exactly. I remember a toddler we worked with in the daycare, let's call him Leo for privacy reasons, of course. His parents were so stressed because he watched a 15-minute video on an iPad once a week. But fast forward to the tween and teen years, and the game completely changes.
Now parents in our coaching sessions are dealing with social media, group chats, the fear of missing out, cyberbullying. It's a whole different landscape. It's a 24/7 landscape too, which is why the old dictatorial approach, the my house, my rules, gimme the phone or else mentality, it doesn't work anymore. It actually breeds resentment.
It breeds secrecy. If you come down like a hammer, your teen isn't going to stop using the phone. They're just going to get much, much better at hiding it from you.
Exactly. So today, we're talking about collaborative boundary setting, and we've broken it down into 8 healthy boundaries that you can set with your teen. Let's dive right into boundary number 1, creating a collaborative cell phone contract.
Oh, I love this one. The word contract sounds so formal, but it really just means a shared agreement.
Yeah, and the key word there is shared. We see so many parents in our coaching sessions who draft up this intense 5-page legal document while the kid is asleep, slide it across the breakfast table and say, "Sign here."
Sign here, initial here, give up your firstborn here.
Right. And the kid is just looking at it like, who do you think you are? When you do that, you're setting the stage for a power struggle. Instead, sit down with your teen. Ask them, hey, what do you think is a fair amount of time to spend on TikTok every day? You might be shocked. Often, they'll suggest a boundary that's stricter than what you were going to propose.
They really do, because deep down, teens know when they feel gross from scrolling too much. I remember a family we worked with in our coaching sessions, let's call them the Hendersons for privacy reasons, of course. The parents were terrified of giving their 13-year-old daughter her first phone. They wanted to lock down every single app. But I suggested they sit down and ask her what she thought the rules should be. And you know what she said?
What did she say?
She said I probably shouldn't have it in my room at night because I know I won't be able to stop texting my friends and I really need my sleep for track practice.
Wow, see?
Right? The parents were stunned. They didn't have to be the bad guys. By making it collaborative, the daughter took ownership of the rule. It wasn't something being done to her, it was a plan she helped build.
That is such a perfect transition to our second boundary, which is exactly what she suggested. No phones in the bedroom overnight.
Oh, absolutely non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable, and this is where parents need to hold the line with confidence and grace. Teens lack the impulse control to ignore a buzzing phone at 2 a.m. Their prefrontal cortexes just aren't fully developed yet.
They aren't. And honestly, Tim, neither is mine sometimes. If my phone buzzes on the nightstand at midnight, I'm looking at it.
Exactly, so why do we expect a 14-year-old to have better self-control than a 40-year-old? We worked with a family in our coaching sessions. We'll call their son Marcus, for privacy reasons, of course. Marcus was sleeping through his morning alarms, totally irritable, completely unmotivated. His parents thought he was depressed. We dug into it, and it turned out Marcus was up until 3:30 a.m. every single night watching YouTube shorts in bed.
Just going down the rabbit hole.
Right. The parents felt guilty taking the phone away at night because Marcus said it was his alarm clock. That is the oldest trick in the book.
Oh, the alarm clock excuse. I hear that in our coaching sessions at least twice a week.
Yes, go to the store, spend $9 on a basic digital alarm clock and put it on their nightstand. The phone stays in the kitchen to charge overnight. End of story.
And parents, if you get pushback on this, blame the biology. You can tell your teen, hey, the blue light from this screen literally tricks your brain into thinking it's daytime. It halts your melatonin production. I love you too much to let a piece of metal ruin your brain's resting phase. Frame it around their health, not a punishment.
That's a great way to put it. All right, boundary number 3, establishing tech-free zones. And the biggest one here, the dinner table.
Yes, the dinner table, the car, any place where natural connection should be happening.
Now, Edna, this is where we have to talk about something a little uncomfortable.
Uh-oh, are we talking about parent hypocrisy?
We are talking about parent hypocrisy. We can't tell our teenagers to get off their phones at dinner if we are sitting there answering a quick work email between bites of lasagna.
Ouch. Yep, that hits close to home for a lot of people.
It does. Our kids are hyper-aware of our hypocrisy. If you want a tech-free zone, it has to apply to the entire family. You want to see a teen actually respect a rule? Let them call you out when you break it.
Oh, that is so true. I was working with a mom in our coaching sessions. We'll call her Sarah for privacy reasons, of course. Sarah was so frustrated that her son wouldn't talk to her in the car. He was always just staring at his screen. But when I asked Sarah what she did at red lights, she got real quiet. She admitted she was always checking her texts at stoplights.
Wow, yeah, they see everything.
They do. So she instituted a phones in the glove box rule for car rides, both of them, her phone and his phone. And she said the first 3 days were agonizingly silent. But by day 4, he started talking about a project he was doing in science class. Because the distraction was gone, the space for connection opened up.
That's beautiful, and it's so true. Space for connection requires intentional emptiness, You have to remove the noise.
Absolutely.
Which brings us to boundary number 4, addressing the fear of missing out, or FOMO. This is a huge angle we need to navigate.
It really is the underlying currency of teenage anxiety right now.
Explain that a bit more. What does FOMO really look like for a teen today?
Well, when we were growing up, if we missed a party, we might hear about it on Monday at school. It was a bummer, but it was delayed. For teens today, if they aren't on their phone on a Friday night, they are watching the party happen in real time on Snapchat maps. They are seeing the inside jokes form on group chats that they aren't participating in. For them, the phone isn't just a toy. It is their social lifeline. So when we say put the phone away, what they hear is sever your connection to your peer group.
Man, when you frame it like that, you really understand why they fight us so hard on screen time limits.
Exactly. So the boundary here isn't just less screen time. The boundary is designated connection time. Work with your teen to schedule their screen time around when their friends are actually active. If their group chat goes crazy between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m., let that be their phone time. Validate their FOMO. Say, I know how important it is to keep up with your friends. Let's make sure you have dedicated time for that so you don't feel left out.
Yes, and validation is such a powerful tool in communication. When a teen feels understood, when they realize you aren't just trying to ruin their social life, they become way more compliant with the boundaries.
Exactly. It moves you from being an adversary to an ally.
Okay, boundary number 5, shared passcodes and total transparency.
The privacy debate.
The privacy debate. Here is our stance on this, and it's something we emphasize heavily in our coaching sessions. Privacy is earned, but safety is mandatory.
Say that again, Tim. That is so important.
Privacy is earned. Safety is mandatory. When you get your first phone, you do not have a right to total digital secrecy from your parents. You just don't. The boundary is that parents must have the passcode, and parents have the right to do random spot checks.
And I want to add a nuance here because parents sometimes take this to the extreme and become digital spies. You shouldn't be reading their diary-like text to their best friend just for gossip.
Right.
You are looking for safety red flags. Are they being bullied? Are they bullying someone else? Are they talking to strangers? A great way to handle this, and I used it with a family in our coaching, let's call them the Washingtons for privacy reasons, of course, is to tell the teen, I am going to check your phone every Sunday evening. I'm not doing it to snoop. I'm doing it to make sure you're safe. We will look at it together.
Oh, I love that. Doing it together.
Yes, because doing it together removes the sneakiness. The teen knows it's coming. It holds them accountable without completely violating their trust.
And it gives you a chance to teach, which is a perfect segue into boundary number 6, digital etiquette and kindness.
Yes.
A digital phone boundary isn't just about when and where you use the phone, it's about how you use it. We have to teach them that the things they type have real-world weight.
It's so easy for kids to feel bold behind a screen. You know, we saw this even back in our daycare days with early behaviors. When kids couldn't see the immediate facial reaction of a peer they just pushed, they didn't feel the empathy right away. Fast forward to a teenager leaving a mean comment on Instagram. They don't see the tears on the other end, so it doesn't feel real to them.
Right, so the boundary here is establishing a family standard for digital citizenship. The rule should be, we do not say anything online that we wouldn't say to someone's face. And if we spot check your phone and see cyberbullying, hate speech, or cruelty, the phone is gone. Period.
That is a hard line, and parents, you have to follow through on that. If you see your teen participating in a toxic group chat, you step in. We had a dad in our coaching sessions. Let's call him David for privacy reasons, of course. David found out his son was in a group chat where kids were making fun of a girl with a learning disability. His son wasn't necessarily starting it, but he was sending laugh emojis.
Complicity.
Exactly. David took the phone away for a week, but more importantly, he sat his son down and they talked about character. He said, in this family, we stand up for people. We don't pile on. That boundary wasn't just about the phone. It was about shaping that boy's moral compass.
That is incredible, and that's the real work of parenting right there. The phone is just the catalyst for these deeper conversations.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to boundary number 7. Focus mode during homework.
The homework battle.
The homework battle. How many parents do we see who are pulling their hair out because their teen takes 4 hours to do 30 minutes of math?
Almost all of them.
Because they are doing one math problem, then checking Snapchat. One math problem, watching a TikTok. Context switching like that absolutely drains cognitive battery. It exhausts them, and it drastically lowers the quality of their work.
So the boundary here is simple. During designated homework time, the phone lives in another room. Not face down on the desk, not in their pocket, in another room.
Yes, out of sight, out of mind. Studies show that even having a phone visible on a desk, even if it is turned off, reduces cognitive capacity because part of the brain is actively working to suppress the urge to check it.
That is wild, but it makes total sense. I worked with a teen in our coaching sessions. We'll call her Chloe for privacy reasons, of course. Chloe swore she needed her phone for a study playlist. Her mom bought her a cheap, dedicated MP3 player for music. The smartphone went into the kitchen during study time. Chloe's homework time was literally cut in half within a week. She had more free time because she was actually focusing.
That's a massive win. And again, it's about providing the scaffolding they need to succeed. They don't know how to self-regulate yet. We have to build the fences for them.
Fences, not walls. I like that.
Okay, our final boundary, number 8, and this ties everything together. We've touched on it, but it needs its own spotlight. Modeling healthy tech use as parents.
We cannot preach what we don't practice.
We really can't. If we are setting all these boundaries, no phones at the table, no phones in bedrooms, focus time, but we are doom scrolling the news while our kid is trying to tell us about their day, we have lost all our credibility.
We have. And I think parents give themselves a pass because they think, well, I'm working or I'm looking at the news. It's important. But to a teenager, a screen is a screen. When you are looking at your phone instead of them, the message they receive is whatever is in that little box is more important than me.
Ooh, that's heavy.
It is heavy, but it's the truth. I remember a conversation from our daycare days. I was talking to a parent, let's call her Jessica, for privacy reasons, of course. She was picking up her 4-year-old, and the child was excitedly holding up this finger painting they made. Jessica was on her phone typing an email, and she just absent-mindedly went, that's nice, without even looking down. The child's shoulders just slumped.
Oh, man.
Now apply that same feeling to a 15-year-old who's trying to tell you about a complicated fight they had with a friend. If you are half listening while scrolling, they will stop talking to you. The boundary here is for us. When our kids are speaking to us, we put the phone down, face down, and make eye contact.
Yes, we have to show them what healthy tech use looks like in the real world. If you need a break, say out loud, I'm going to take 15 minutes to play a game on my phone to unwind, and then I'm putting it away. Narrate your boundaries so they can see you practicing self-regulation.
That is such a great tip. Narrate the regulation. I love that.
Let's quickly recap these key takeaways for our listeners because we covered a lot of ground today.
We did. Okay, so first, approach phone rules collaboratively. Don't be a dictator. Build a contract with your teen so they have ownership.
Right. And second, create tech-free zones, especially the dinner table and the bedroom overnight. Get them a real alarm clock.
Third, address the FOMO. Validate their need for social connection and schedule dedicated screen time when their peers are online.
Fourth, enforce focus mode. Phones go in another room during homework to prevent cognitive drain.
Fifth, mandate safety. Privacy is earned, safety is mandatory. You hold the passcode and you do spot checks with them to monitor for digital citizenship and kindness.
And finally, check your own hypocrisy. Model the exact behavior you want to see from them. Put your phone down when they speak to you.
It sounds like a lot, but parents, you can do this. Take it one boundary at a time. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional.
Absolutely. It's about setting them up for a lifetime of healthy habits instead of a lifetime of digital addiction.
Beautifully said.
Thank you all so much for hanging out with us today. If you found this episode helpful, please do us a huge favor. Subscribe to the Rising Parent podcast on whatever platform you're listening on right now, and leave us a 5-star review. It really helps the show reach more parents who might be struggling with these exact same issues.
Also, a quick reminder that we release new episodes every Monday and Friday, so we will be right back here with you in just a few days.
And before we go, we want to remind you that we created this podcast to help families, but also to raise funding for our nonprofit mobile food bank, Selfless Outreach. If you found value in this episode, please consider donating to Selfless Outreach by going to selflessoutreach.org and hitting the donate button.
Yes, every single donation helps selfless outreach serve the underserved in our community. We are so grateful for your support. A link to selfless outreach will be provided right in the show notes for you.
Thanks again for being here, parents. Remember, you have the tools, you have the grace, and you can absolutely do this. Have a great week.
Bye, everyone.